Aloha. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hypnosis Show, aka Luke Talks. Tonight, we're going to be talking about addiction, and we are going to talk about rewiring the mind for addiction. Rewiring the addicted mind is going to be the topic here tonight. And as always, we're going to give people an opportunity to join us. I'm looking at you right now. I'm speaking to everybody on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on X, and Twitch, to name but a few. Oh, and LinkedIn. And if I'm speaking to you down here, it's different cameras, see? I'm speaking to those people on the TikTok. All right, so if you see me doing this and this, it's because I've got a couple of different cameras going on here. Anyways, we're going to give everyone an opportunity to come join us if you're watching now. Doesn't it feel good to be alive wherever you are in the world here tonight? It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Let me talk to you. So if you've just joined us, how these things typically go is in a minute, I'm going to give you the news of the week, the news for me from the week, what's been going on with me and my clients. And it's good that we have an interaction, discourse going back and forth. Otherwise, it's going to be me talking at you. And I'd rather speak to you and have a conversation going back and forth and answer any questions you've got about addiction, hypnosis, and how hypnosis can help you with whatever your addiction is, be that smoking, be that cocaine, be that drinking, be that sex, be that the internet, be that porn, be that video games, be that social media, be that crystal meth, be that Oxycontin, be that weed, or something else I forgot to mention. But say hi in the comments below, because in reality, the only way that I know that there's anyone out there that's worth me actually doing this is if you put comments below. So if you joined us, say hello in the comments below, so I can give you a shout out, so I can make you famous and answer your questions. Okay. So if you can hear me, say hello, give me a wave or a thumbs up or a like below. That would be lovely. And while you're at it, what form of social media are you watching on? Are you watching from TikTok? Are you watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram? Put it in the comments below. It's good for me to see where you are watching from. Also, what country are you watching from? Currently, I am in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's not where I'm from, though, as you know, gathered from the accent. Where are you from, or where are you watching from, more specifically here tonight? Mr. B is making a cameo. You might see his head pop up and down a little bit, and you're certainly going to hear him speak. Hello, young man. How are you? That's Mr. B. It's always going to be a good show when Mr. B shows up. Just got to make sure he doesn't swipe me. So, as always, he agrees. What's the news this week? So, if you're a first-time viewer, watcher to the show, we choose a topic each week about hypnosis or a topic each month. This month happens to be on all addictions. In the hypnosis field, it seems to be the thing that I am known for, is helping people overcome certain afflictions in their life by helping them to rewire their brain. A lot of my clients that come to me to get over some particular affliction or addiction in their life have tried rehabs. I had a client that he had tried rehab, I think it's 3 times, that his mother-in-law had paid for in Beverly Hills at 100 grand a pop for 28 days. And the first thing he did when he left rehab was within an hour, he crossed over the street, got his Hollywood hookup, and scored some cocaine. So that was 100 grand down the tubes immediately. Oftentimes see a lot of clients that have tried the traditional method, be that AA meetings, be that an NA meeting, and for whatever reason, these people were very successful people, and they didn't really want their story and their face to be known because they were influencers in their field and their community. And one time they told me a story that they'd gone to a meeting, then they went to another meeting in a different part of town, and somebody in the other meeting in a different part of town with different members to the AA meeting was actually telling his story, my client's story, because they'd heard it from someone else and it got passed on along with the name. And my client's mind blew at that point. It's like, I don't have any anonymity here, not even just in the group, but my story is getting passed to other groups. And he felt very uncomfortable and he stopped attending meetings because of the lack of anonymity. And I've known clients that have done AA or NA, and it was nice to have people listen to their story, but they didn't get any better. And statistically, people that attend an AA or an NA group, the foul rate, meaning people continue to do their drug of choice or worse, the foul rate is approximately 96%. That means for every 100 people that go, 96, 97 of them will leave, continuing to do their drug of choice, either at the same level or actually increase. That's what the stats tell us, unfortunately. We've all got the story of, oh, I know that one guy went to NA, he went to AA, and it was work for him. And it's great if it does work for you. If it works for you, whatever works for you to become addiction-free, more power to you. Okay? However, the people that come to me typically have done the rehab, typically have done the NA, the AA, typically have done other forms of therapy, counseling, CBT, and it hasn't worked for them. Hence why they've gone through the yellow pages or Google. They've gone from the A all the way to the Z. They've even tried Witch Doctor, and it didn't work. And they find me, the hypnotist, to help them overcome their drug of choice. So this week, obviously, I'm not going to say their name or any identifying factors about them to protect them. But I got a new client that wanted to quit smoking. And he signed up. He'd been smoking for 50 cigarettes a day for over, I think it was 30 years now. The longest break he ever had was a week where he didn't smoke or vape or use any form of nicotine. And it's just get to a point of his life. And I always ask clients, well, you've been doing this for 30 years or so. Why now? Why now do you want to quit? And I ask my client, why do you want to quit? And he's like, look, I tried before. I just feel it has control of me. I don't want to have any control anymore. And I just feel my health, my lungs getting more tired, getting more weak. And I really want to deal with this before it gets worse. I envision that if I don't do something drastically, and he'd tried all the other methods, the gum, the patches, and forms of medication to help him overcome it. But the longest he ever went in, I think, 30 years of nicotine consumption was 1 week. And he was just like, oh, it's just a nightmare to be around. So I started again. And every time that he stopped, he would gain 15 pounds of weight. Because what they don't tell you is all the addictive compounds and components in cigarettes, 2,500 to be exact. One of those is sugar. Sugar is actually in cigarettes that they don't tell you, which is crazy. Again, if you've joined us, say hi in the comments below why I am giving you an update on this. Oh, that is strange, isn't it? My keyboard is writing. Oh, I know why it's writing. We have some technical difficulties, folks. Let's just. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. My laptop lost power for a moment, so I'm sorry if I lost you. But we're back in the game right now. Nothing like a little bit of drama to keep things fresh and exciting. All right. Again, if you can see or hear me, just say hello in the comments below. You know, what do you want to talk about? Well, I told you what we're going to talk about tonight is rewiring the brain, how hypnotherapy helps break addiction. Anyways, to finish off the story of my client, he's off on a vacation before we do his first session with me. Typically, when it comes to smoking, 1 to 3 sessions maximum has been my experience doing this for 25 years with people and helping them quit. So he's got one vacation coming up that he's going on, and then we are going to do his first session. So he's very excited about it. I'm excited for him as well. Don't know if you noticed last week, posted it on all forms of social media. I did an interview with a client of mine, his good friend, Daryl, who's overcome brain cancer over the last year and change. And he allowed me to do an interview with him and talk about his recovery and his experience of using hypnosis as a tool to help him become cancer-free. I'm happy to report now it's been about a year, I think, that he's been cancer-free. Goes for regular MRI checkups, and he's got one coming up in the not too distant future. So I help him to deal with any emotions that come up around that. But he's doing exceptionally well, healthy, looks good, great family, continuing to work and do his job very well. So I did an interview of that. So you'll find that in whatever form of social media you're watching now, you'll find it. I posted it on Monday, and you'll find it there. Recommend you watch it. It's very inspiring, even if you're not suffering from cancer. The beautiful mindset, inspirational mindset and story of Daryl, I think, will help to put your own life in perspective and what is possible for you to shift, for you to change, even when you've been told that, oh, there's not a lot we can do about it, doctors, surgeons, whoever. There is things you can do about it, and he's walking proof of that. So I'd recommend you watch that nice case study I did with Daryl, 30 minutes long. It's on whatever form of social media you're watching now. It's somewhere on the page. It's likely posted on Monday. Quick programming note, I'll tell you when we get closer to it. But in 2 weeks' time, I am going to be performing at the Taboo showcase, for want of a better word, which is in Toronto, downtown, at the Skull Shop, the Skull Museum, which is just opposite the Eaton Centre, if you know downtown. It's like a kind of a performance from different folks, 90 minutes long. We have a burlesque dancer who's going to be there, I believe, comedians, magicians, and I'm going to be doing 20-minute hypnosis show, 20-minute fast, rapid, powerful hypnosis show on that date. So I'll probably leave a little poster underneath whatever form of social media you're watching me on now, or certainly over the next couple of weeks I'll be doing more promotion for that. Be filming it as well, but it's good to show up. It'll be 8:30 p.m. on Thursday the 20th of March, and like I say, there'll be many different performers. I'll just be having probably a 20-minute segment on doing some cool hypnosis things, but we've got all kinds of people there. Sometimes there's sword swallowers, sometimes there's fire jugglers, burlesque, dancing. The guy who owns the space is the largest proprietor of skulls, of human skulls, animal skulls in the world. Whenever they make a movie in Toronto, he told us a story that oftentimes the movies will contact him to get one of his skulls in the movie. Apparently, the skull movement of human and antique skulls and animal skulls is quite a small network out there, and he's like, they all know one another. And apparently, he got some skulls from a pyramid or a tomb. He was telling us somewhat recently. I think he might even have a mummy or something. This guy's got some cool stuff, but it's in his museum, which is like Skull Museum, Skull Store. And he has a place at the bottom that we can do performances. It looks a bit like a nightclub from the 1990s. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that. More information coming up on that over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. If you have any questions about me, hypnosis, addiction, please put in the comments below. I'm just checking the comments here. Remembering to check out Instagram, because last week I neglected them a little bit. So Dalva, hope I'm pronouncing you right, is on the Instagram, and seeing what's going on the TikTok here before we talk about rewiring your brain. All right. So if you're with us, say hi. I can see some people there. Say hi in the comments below. Let me know that you're out there. So rewiring the brain, how hypnosis, hypnotherapy helps to break the cycle of addiction. Okay. Now, when I say addiction, how I look at it, and again, I'm a guy who's been treating addiction, quote, end quote, for 25 years now. Again, everything from I'm watching too much TV, I'm playing too many video games, I'm watching too much porn, I'm doing too much social media, I'm smoking too many cigarettes, too much weed, too much crack, too much cocaine, too much heroin, too much crystal meth. I'm gambling away my money and everything in between. How I look at addiction is I just call it a bad habit. All right. People are just doing a bad habit. Everyone's like, well, I've got an addictive personality. Here's the news for you. 25 years, about 10,000 people I've worked with for every kind of problem, not just kind of addiction, but everything. Every problem you can imagine, and some problems you never, ever want to imagine. Everyone's addicted to something. But not all addictions are created equally, right? You can imagine addiction to crystal meth is not the same as being addicted to professional wrestling, right? I love professional wrestling, but I'm probably not going to die or piss away all my money or lose my girlfriend or lose my job or lose my home or lose my life by watching professional wrestling. Perhaps if I'm doing crystal meth, I'm losing some teeth and perhaps some fingers. All those other things are in play. I could lose them all, right? So everyone's addicted to something, but some addictions are more brutal, more all-encompassing than others, okay? So I don't buy into the fact that, addictions, I'm addicted, I've got an addicted brain. Everyone's addicted to something, but I don't call it addiction. The only reason I'm using the word addiction is a lot of my clients will use that word, all right? And I want them to understand that I understand them, but it's not the word I use. I just use the word, it's a behavior. It doesn't matter if it's crystal meth, if it's over gambling, over spending, over watching porn, over eating, over smoking. It's just a bad behavior. And that bad behavior was created at some point in your life, probably before the age of 5. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Luke, I wasn't jerking off, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't using cocaine. There was no social media when I was 5. So the problem couldn't be created. I was addicted to that thing then. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there was something going on between 0 and 5. Okay. And psychologists have proven pretty much that about 98% of what we're going to learn in the world, we learn from 0 to 5. Some extend it to 0 to 7. But basically, 95 to 98% of everything we're ever going to learn, walking, talking, how to eat, how to move, how to talk, how to cross the roads, we learn before the age of 5, right? So typically something happens, and again, when you're 5 or younger, a small thing, is a big thing, right? Because I don't know, when you're 5 and your best friend won't play with you anymore, it's a huge thing, right? It's a huge thing. Now, when you're a 45-year-old and your best friend won't return your messages immediately, it's not the end of the world. It's like maybe he's having dinner, or he's out with his girl, or he's doing MMA, or watching the fight, or whatever, right? It's not the end of the world, but to a 5-year-old it is. So then the unconscious, the subconscious, the monkey mind a bit controls all of your thinking, your eating, your beating of your heart, your breathing of your lungs, the storing of the memories, the flow of the endocrine system. It develops a behavior, a pattern, an addiction, if you want, to help you to deal with something that it's hard for you to deal with, right? So oftentimes, daily working with smokers, when I ask them why they do it, they're like, oh, I don't know, Luke. I know it's bad. I know that you know consciously why it's bad, but why do you think you really do it? What do you get out of it? And they'll be like, yeah, it's just like sometimes I get really stressed, Luke, and it helps to relax me. So even though we can look at it logically, like how can a cigarette ever relax you? Of the 2,500 chemicals in it, 37 have been proven directly to cause cancer. There is not one ingredient in a cigarette that could ever relax you. But doing this for 25 years, I've heard the story way too many times to think it's a lie, or there was some conspiracy from all of my old clients. They all knew one another and were trying to work me. And what it often is most of us spend all of our time breathing in the chest. It's a busy society. We're multitasking. We're at work. We're trying to deal with the family. We're trying to do some exercise if we've got time. We're doing the social media. We're answering our emails. We're eating. We're doing all these bloody things at once. Creates a lot of stress, right? Right? Always moving, always in motion. So sometimes people's only time that they stop breathing from the chest, which starts to work more the amygdala, which is the part of your brain, prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for the 4Fs, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So if you're always in flight, always in fear, always in fawn, right? You're always here, you're in sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, right? The only time you go into rest and digest is when you take a big, deep tummy breath. What do most people do when they smoke? They take deeper breaths, right? Then they start to get filled with those chemicals to start to calm them, right? The oxytocin and stuff. It's not the cigarette that calmed them. It can't be because, like I said, of the 2,500 chemicals in a cigarette, not one of them has ever been proven to cause relaxation or a calming effect. If anything, it's the opposite. There's sugar and formaldehyde, which they use to embalm dead bodies. I'm not sure that's in cigarettes, but it is. Perhaps preserve them. But people say it's calm, so they smoke because they're calm, right? Another thing I get from people who overdrink, binge drinkers, people who identify themselves as problem drinkers, over drinkers, is when I ask them what do they get out of it? Oh, well, nothing, Luke. I know it's bad. That's why I came to see you. But when we get below that surface level of that, they'll say, well, I'm a bit awkward, a bit socially awkward. And if I'm out on a date or I'm out with my friends or I'm out in a meeting, when I drink, it makes me feel a bit more calm, a bit more confident, a bit more sedated. It seems to relax those emotions. But often it makes me feel confident, or it makes me just not care. So that's a positive benefit that they're getting from drinking alcohol. From the cocaine addicts, they might say something along the lines of, Luke, I don't really feel much of anything. I'm quite numb to most things out there. But you know what? When I do this thing called cocaine, it's like the world goes from black and white to color, to technicolor, and everything is brighter. The sounds are more crystal clear, and the touch, the sensations on the skin are so much more powerful. And it helps them to feel something when they live the rest of their life when they're numb. Now, a lot of people would try and deal with the cocaine and take them to cocaine out. It's not the cocaine that's a problem, it's just a symptom, right? What the problem is why they're trying to numb themselves. Why would they try and numb themselves? There's a reason. There's a piece of malware. There's a Trojan in their brain, like you would have on your computer, but in their brain, in their body, in their somatic system, right? That's causing them, because they feel numb and they're suppressing their feelings, probably because something bad happened to them, trauma, at some point in their life, and they're trying to suppress it. But then we're human, so we do need to feel. So the only way that they can feel is by using cocaine. Right? So if we just go in and we just deal with the symptom of smoking, the symptom of snorting, the symptom of drinking, the symptom of overeating, is one I get for overeat. It's why do you overeat? I don't know, Luke. That's why I'm coming to you. Then when we get below the surface, why do you think you overeat? Luke, when I was a little girl, I was abused. And I didn't ever want to be abused or hurt anymore. So I gained 150 pounds. So no man would ever hurt or abuse me anymore. Again, this is not the logic of an adult. This is the logic of a 5-year-old child who's doing this. So there's an element of unconsciously, the child inside them, the unconscious, the subconscious, the monkey mind, that they feel safe. Hello, Vinny. How are you? Right. So if we go in there and we take out those specific problems or those symptoms, but we don't deal with the deep structure underneath, right? Then the problem's going to come back. The habit's going to come back. The addiction's going to come back, or it's going to come back even worse. Like the cigarette smoking is going to then go into weed smoking. It'll go into drinking. It'll go into cocaine. It'll go into gambling. It'll go into cocaine again. Cocaine loops, that they'll go into crystal meth, that they'll go into oxytocin, oxytocin is the brain chemical. You want that. That's good stuff. It's the oxycontin that you don't want, the pharmaceutical drugs, or oxys as they call them on the street, right? But we need to find a way for you to get your needs met, whatever your needs are. And most people don't know what their needs are consciously, hence why in hypnosis we can go in and do that deep rewiring of your brain. So with love and respect, I don't care what you have to say consciously, right? I care what your unconscious, your subconscious, your monkey mind says, because it's the part that's pulling all the strings, like on my t-shirt, right? That's the part that's making you reach out for those illicit drugs. You're not broken. You just inherited from society or your parents or someone in a position of power that you look up to. You inherited this particular behavior. And before the age of 5, that critical factor, that critical wall was down, and you're just absorbing everything, right? It was like Neo in the Matrix. And it isn't until you get to about 5 or 7 that the critical factor, critical faculty come online and starts to be more discerning about the information that's going in, because you've learned most of the stuff you're ever going to learn, probably 95%, as I mentioned before. So then it has to be very concerning as to which information it allows in, and start to filter out the stuff that you don't need. It generalizes, it deletes, it distorts all the time, right? Otherwise, it's a bit like having a glass. If I had a glass here, in fact, just imagine I had a glass here now, and I had a beaker of water here now, and I filled that glass up, and I kept filling that glass until all the water came out the sides, right? That's what starts happening with your brain. There's only a certain amount of information that can go in and can be online at any one moment. So the unconscious mind has to generalize, delete, or distort other information, because you only have a certain amount of RAMs that are going on there, or that can be useful in any moment, right? And it has to make a quick choice on what the information is that is relevant and pertinent to you out there. So in hypnosis, what's different from hypnosis and perhaps the kind of stuff that I do and going to a counselor or a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist is they're going to ask you lots of questions, right? But you can't change it, at least consciously. Because if you could have changed your problem consciously, we wouldn't be in a session. You wouldn't have needed me. You wouldn't have needed the psychologist. You wouldn't have needed the counselor, the psychotherapist, because you would have fixed it. Because you're not dumb, right? Because it's not a you problem. It's not a you problem. It's a you problem. It's an unconscious, subconscious problem. One that's in your body. One that's working below the surface. Imagine the old iceberg, right? You can all imagine that there's an iceberg here, and you see the tip of the iceberg, right? It looks quite cold and big, right? But then you look under the water and you see there's so much more of the iceberg, perhaps 85, 90, 95% of the iceberg is out of sight, is below the surface. Well, that's your unconscious, your subconscious mind. It's the iceberg, but below the other 85, 90, 95% that's really controlling the show, right? So by just talking with the logical part of the mind, will tell me what happened with your mother, what happened with your father, why did you do this? I don't know why I did this. Yeah, my mum treated me crappy, my dad deserted me. I know all this. How does knowing any of that help me? I want to stop doing this drug, right? It's working with the wrong part, right? The wrong part of your mind. That's why traditionally, 95% of the time, it won't work in talk therapy. It won't work in rehab. It won't work in AA. It won't work in counseling. It won't work in psychologist sessions. It won't work in psychotherapy sessions. It won't work in psychiatry sessions. All right? Because none of it addresses it. Why in hypnosis, we can lovingly, respectfully distract this part of your mind, the logical part, the part that wants to know how it works, the part that wants to know what's actually inside the gift you're going to receive on your birthday or Christmas. You can work with the other part, the part that, again, it's storing the memories, beating the heart, breathing the lungs, moving the body, right? We can work directly with that part because that's the part that creates the problem or the behavior that was at some point effective for you, but now isn't effective for you. It's hurting you, it's making you suffer. You're spending too much money on it. You're losing relationships for it. You're a bad role model to kids for it. This is not a judgment. This is what my clients tell me daily. So you lost your job, you lost your car, you got injured, right? So that's hurting you. That thing that you create to protect or help you is now hurting you. In hypnosis, we can remove the painful part, i.e. the addictive part, and get your unconscious, your subconscious mind to get the same need met by doing something more positive. And I don't know what that positive thing might be for you. I allow my client's unconscious mind to select what it wants to do instead. But it might be they drink more water, they pray more if they're religious, they meditate more if they're so inclined, they do more downward dogs in their yoga, they exercise more. They go out and they go for more walks. They engage in a new physical activity, a mental activity, an emotional activity. Get closer to their partner, get closer to their God, higher self, whatever it is for them. It's never up to me to tell my clients unconscious what it is that they need to do because they know my client better than I ever will, and they know my client better than my client's conscious intellect, adult brain ever will, because it created it. Right? Create everything. So that's why it's very powerful, very quick, very rapid. Start to make those shifts in hypnosis, irrespective of what the problem is. We're just keeping it on topic with addiction here tonight, and for this season of Luke Talks. But it doesn't matter what the problem is. It created a part, it created a behavior. That behavior was serving a problem, was serving a solution for a while. Oh, I smoke, and when I smoke, it makes me feel calm, but also it is causing me to probably shave 10 years at least off the end of my life. It's costing me 3 to 5 to 6 grand a year. It's making me smell horrible, that my wife doesn't want to kiss me anymore, and it's taking my insurance premiums through the roof, and I'm never present there with my kids because I'm or at work in a meeting because I'm always thinking about my next smoke, right? There's a lot of negatives that get attached to it the more you run the behavior. So in hypnosis, we get rid of the behavior, the smoking, the snorting cocaine, the drinking of the alcohol, the overconsumption of food. And my client's unconscious develops a new behavior: walking, drinking more water, praying, meditating, reading a book, exercising, whatever it is, singing, where they get all the same needs met of feeling relaxed, feeling calm, if that's their thing that they need, or feeling connected to people, if that was the thing that the habit was doing for them, of feeling emotional with the right emotions at the right time, the ability to emote without doing the drug of choice, as I mentioned, like cocaine earlier. So it's a way, the only thing that you're missing, the only thing that you're losing is the symptom, i.e. doing the behavior, the addiction. But all the good stuff you were getting from it, you can continue to do it. It's just we're taking a different path. Instead of taking the left road, which is now closed to get you to where you need to go, we're now taking the right road to make you feel calm, to make you feel connected, more confident, with the ability to be in touch with your emotions and emote. So that's pretty much how it works metaphorically when I am working with people, and why many other methods don't particularly work, and the reason to that. So we're going to give everyone a few moments. Got any questions? Put in the comments below. If you're watching this after the fact, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, check your local listings. The Hypnosis Show will be on all forms of social media. Luke Talks. We'll be discussing a different topic each month and different subtopics involved in that topic each and every week. If you're watching after the fact, put comments below, and I'll answer your questions after the fact. Just checking on comments. Anyone's got any comments out there? Let's see what's going on. All right. Well, folks, you might see a little scrolling thing at the bottom of the screen that says how to stop smoking in 1 hour. It's my new website. It's not all I do. It's one of the big things I do. So if you smoke, whether that be cigarettes or weed, whether that be vaping or actual cigarettes or cigars, and you want to stop, there is a free masterclass that I offer. It's free. It's 45 minutes. If you just go over to how to stop smoking in 1 hour, and you can watch my 45-minute masterclass on how you can do that and the 3 biggest reasons that hold people back from stopping smoking. And if you have any questions, again, after the fact, that's fine. Put in the comments below, and I'll endeavor to answer your questions in a timely fashion. Other than that, I'm going to wrap it up now. I've been Luke Michael Howard from Hypnosis Hypnosis. See you next week. Same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel. Always believe.